Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and this is your weekly segment on doing business like a queen. You are 10 minutes away from creating the ultimate success you deserve. So grab a note-taking device and let's get started. Welcome to the Divine Living Talk Show. I'm your host, Gina DeVee, and today we are talking about your relationship with time. Yes, to be a queen, you have to totally have a healthy relationship with time. And what I find is that most women actually have a very unrealistic relationship with time. They either have too little time or they think that they have more than enough time. And so really getting down your right relationship with time it's just a really beautiful way to treat yourself. So something that I've noticed throughout the years is that we talk a lot about we don't have enough money, but what's the second most common thing you hear people talk? I don't have the time, I don't have the time, I don't have the time. And when you think about it, everyone has the same number of hours in the day. Oprah, Richard Branson, like your most highly effective, productive people that didn't necessarily come from royalty have the same amount of hours in the day that you and I do. And what I have found is that mastering your relationship with time is totally possible. I don't feel like I don't have enough time. And when I do, I make a really quick course correction. So if you are flailing and always feeling behind and you don't feel like there's a lot of hours in the day, then keep watching and this is going to be really, really nurturing for you. So what this is going to really do is come down to the way you hold yourself as a queen in your life. So back in the day when I wasn't such a queen, I did a stint at law school, don't ask, but while I drove from Santa Monica to downtown LA every day for this wretched year of law school, I was stressed every day driving down Wilshire Boulevard because I was always late and you couldn't be late and the whole deal. So I was stressed every single day. And then finally it dawned on me, Gina, why are you doing this to yourself? Why don't you just leave early? And what I discovered in this awareness is that a queen has enough time and a queen gets to places on time, and a queen honors time commitments and honors other people's time as well. And it was literally just like creating a new habit that I would leave at least 15 minutes early before I needed to be anywhere, because I developed a sense of self-esteem where I refused to put myself under the pressure of being scared, of being late, of getting into a car accident, of just not enjoying my journey. And this has treated me really well. It's, at an airport, you will always find me with some caviar and champagne at the Petrosian stand because I get my ass to the airport a good 2 hours early. Granted, I have an incentive at LAX, but I'm never worried about missing a flight, being late to a meeting, any production meetings that I do in LA, and it's LA traffic, people. I just leave super early. When I'm in New York, I leave super early. We all have our phones. We can be doing work along the way. If we get there early, great. But what I've noticed is that just really being in right relationship with time and honoring your time and other people's time, it's a very queenly and empowering habit to be in. Because look at who looks like the dumbass walking in late, the person walking in late, who's like the one feeling so bad they can't even be focused on whatever the meeting is or whatever because they're like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late, I'm sorry. What a boring conversation to have. Sorry, don't be late. Don't be late. Get it together. And that's what queens do. So that's my arrival procedures. You're welcome. Next, moving on to my relationship with time with my business. So if I did not commit to having such a healthy relationship with time, I would be miserable as an entrepreneur because I would be in what I was in my early days, never thinking I could accomplish enough. I could never work enough to get the job done. I was always behind. There was always more to do. That's like slavery. Like there's no end. There's no getting out. You didn't start your entrepreneurial business or your freelance business or your blogging business or your podcasting business to feel like a slave. And so what you get to do is create a set of choices. And the choices are, what are you committed to completing in a week, in a month, in a year? And you take responsibility for that. But here's what you have to do to be a queen in the process is you can't be like the lady at the airport that has like the baby clothes falling out of the bag and the bottle and the purse. Like, you don't get to stuff too much into the container and have it just dripping and falling out. You get to have your right relationship, meaning a healthy relationship with time. So you go and you take a look at, like for me, sleep is a non-negotiable. I've had a few sleepless nights in my business, but it wasn't because I didn't go to bed on time. It was because I was stressed about something else. I always shut my computer off by 6, maybe 7. I always have something fun to do in the evening, and if fun is relaxing, then that's that. I always get plenty of sleep. I have way too much self-esteem to force myself to work sleep deprived. Not happening. I'm also not a mother, so those of you new mothers, you got to work that out. Not my jam. But in terms of being an entrepreneur, it's like, and then I get up, I work out, I do my day. Now here's the cool thing, because I'm not available to work 12 or 15 or 18 hours a day, and I'm not available to work 6 and 7 days a week, on average, everyone has to do what they have to do to plow through and get their job done at times. What I have found is it has required me to ask, who else can do this? Because if there's not enough hours in the day and there's not enough days in the week to move my goals forward in the way that's really meaningful and important to me, then that's where team comes in and that's where leverage comes in. So I got so much better at delegating by becoming unavailable to do things that weren't going to line up time-wise. So as you develop this healthy relationship with time, you'll realize that if you're going to be effective and if you're going to be smart and you're going to have a life also, you have to do what only you can. And you will be surprised at how much other people can do. All the stuff that I told myself, well, I have to do that and I have to do that. It's just not true. What you have to do is get your vision and your message out into the world and do the things that only you can. Everyone has a different zone of genius. Everyone has different desires. So delegate, delegate, delegate. That's how you will accomplish more in a day and not work yourself to the bone. The next tip, you don't get to waste time. Like, my days are laser. The reason why I can turn my computer off at 6 p.m. and still have a multi-million-dollar business and not work 24/7 is because when I am on and I am at work, I am on and I am at work. I'm not going to 3-hour lunches. I'm not talking to my girlfriends, around the world. I am laser, I'm focused, I'm on, I'm in it to win it, and I am not wasting time. And when I do, it feels awful because I've gotten so used to being productive and being happy and moving things forward. It's really fun to be efficient. So the way that I'm able to be efficient is that I've learned myself, meaning I know how I like to work, and I'm an extremist. So basically there's 2 ways people like to work. One is in big chunks of time. So let's say if I have 10 hours of coaching to do, I would rather coach back to back for 10 hours on a Monday and be in that rhythm and that energy and that skill set for 10 hours all the way through Monday, and then that's my coaching day. If I am writing my book, then that's another full day. If I'm working on marketing or doing team meetings, I do things in really big chunks like that. Doesn't mean that's the way you need to do it, but if you are an extremist like me, then set your schedule up and manage your time accordingly. Other people, if they have 10 hours worth of work to do, they work best working, let's say, 5 days a week in 2-hour increments. So then you go and schedule that. Both of us are going to get our 10 hours of coaching done. You just get to do it over the course of a week in 2-hour increments because that's going to fuel you and energize you even more. So there's not a right or wrong with any of this. It's about being relentless to figure out what works for you and make that happen for you. So remember, you are a queen. You don't need to be stressed. You don't need to be late. You don't need to be running haphazardly. You don't need to be doing it all. And you don't need to be cramming more into your airport bag, more into your daily calendar, more into your weekly calendar that's going to be then erupting out of it. You can learn to delegate. You can establish a healthy relationship with time so that you have your needs met, that you're moving your goals and your intentions forward, and that you have an abundance of what you need with time. It's a really pleasurable way to live. So, my darling, leave a comment below about what kind of relationship with time you are creating or any questions that you have about it. I'm so looking forward to seeing how this lands for you. And for all your friends that keep showing up late when you go out for drinks, or those team members that don't ever make it to the team meeting on time, share this video with them and let's see if we can't work on everyone honoring each other's time together.